Welcome back to the channel. My name is Harold. Today is Wednesday, April 15th, and in today's video, I'm just going to be going over how I lost $230 day trading ES futures. And today in the market was a pretty bullish day. It's actually been a pretty bullish week, and I'm just going to go over why I lost money and what type of trade I took. So yesterday we saw a strong move to the upside, and overnight we kind of held this like 75th percentile of the high, which is a pretty bullish signal. We attempted to break to the upside here and we got rejected. And again, we attempted to break to the upside, we got rejected again. So knowing that context, I was trying to use this value area high as my key level. This was my main point of inflection as we were opening inside the previous day value area high and low. So we could either target this as a false break, right? We could target this as a breakout, or maybe price doesn't even retest these areas and we kind of have to wait until this area is tested, so on and so forth. So we had a lot of options today. And I think having a lot of options is a blessing, but at the same time can be a curse at times, just because there's just a lot more things to think about. Now coming into the 2-minute chart, this is where I took my trade. I took my trade at 7,007.5 and my stop was at around 7,015.5. Okay? And we immediately got stopped out. The price never moved lower from the point of our entry, which kind of sucks. But it was also just something I recognized pretty late, right? When this happened, we ended up opening above the value area high. So when we were charting, we actually had price below it, but then when we were opening, we had price above the value area high. And initially we saw this up move, right? And then we get rejected. So let me show you guys what actually happened here that led me to take shorts over taking a long. So coming into the footprint chart, just to give you some context, this is the 5-minute chart. This is the 2-minute chart. And right here is the market open. So market open, we rally to the upside, and then we get this strong move to the downside. At this moment, I was looking more at the 2-minute chart, and what I saw was that first we get these buyers at these highs absorbed, right? So we had aggressive buyers, 11% positive delta, but we get a red candle showing that a lot of those buyers got absorbed. And then we see aggressive sellers stepping in. So we see this and I'm like, okay, I still want to be a little bit more patient. Our level hasn't even broken to the downside, right? So I'm thinking, okay, maybe this is the end of the 2-3 day move. Maybe we want to reverse or at least consolidate for a little bit, because the past couple days we haven't really done that. And then we get this impulsive move to the downside again. We get increased volume, we get strong negative delta, and price accepts these lower conditions, these lower areas, right? And we come back under the previous day value area high. This to me was a pretty bearish signal, and this in itself led me to take the trade. So I ended up entering right over here. Sorry. Ended up entering right over here. Place my stop at the highs right here. But right after I entered, I had some regret, because I think that because the market was in such a strong uptrend, I don't want to be the first seller, right? Being the first seller, or being someone who tries to catch a falling knife, right? Being the first buyer never really gets the best move in the first place, and it's the hardest type of trade to do. You're trying to predict the highs right now. What I should have waited for was when this move happened right here. We also saw this on the 5-minute. We saw these imbalances get created. Here. What I should have looked for was a continuation down. I should have looked for price to keep moving, And then I should have looked for price to come back and test this area and look for buyers to get absorbed or aggressive selling to step in thereafter. Instead of trying to be the first one to catch it, I got greedy, right? And I paid for it. And it was a little bit more predictable because when we have a strong move like this to the downside with aggressive buying or aggressive volume, when we get bought back up right away and we close back above the level, that is a very good sign of a reversal. If this type of price action happens at the lows or at the highs, it's usually a good sign of reversal. And at the same time, when imbalances are formed, these usually act as an area of supply, but it was not respected, right? It was not respected. We closed above the imbalances, and then on the next candle here, we showed no participation at these levels. Price did not want to remain down here anymore. So if I was patient enough to wait about 5 to 10 more minutes, I would have gotten a long entry right in this candle right here, where we get aggressive buyers stepping in, we get sellers absorbed, right? And even if we missed this one right here, would have had an entry right here where we get aggressive sellers absorbed, buyers aggressive, and we just get a move to the upside. So this was the difference between waiting 5 minutes and not waiting 5 minutes. Especially because we were going counter trend, I think that we should have been a lot more careful with the type of trade that we were trying to take. But we weren't. We were not careful, and we jumped the gun and ended up paying for it. Right? It's weird because I had the discipline right here to say, okay, I'm gonna wait. But the moment this happened, the initial thought I had in my head was, oh, I'm late. And usually when you think you're late, you're late. Like, it's gone. It's done. Like, you shouldn't try to enter. But even when I said I was late, I was like, I was just like, F it. Like, I'm just gonna force myself in here. And I forced myself in here, and we literally got trapped at the lows, and price ended up reversing. So just some logistics of the trade. We lost $242 here. We had a planned R multiple of 1.47. This was my initial target, but based off what was happening with the price action, I was looking to actually extend my target lower, just because we also had a previous day value area low to fill if we were moving to the downside. We were in the trade for about 12 minutes until we got stopped out. And if we look at our continuation strategy, it wasn't too bad, right? The confirmations weren't terrible, and they were there, but the context was wrong. The context of it all was wrong, right? Especially going counter trend, we should have been a little bit more careful. But there's a couple things I did today that I'm actually very proud of myself for, okay? Number one, I don't know why, but I was trying to reload. I don't know why, but when this held, I was like, I want to add to my size. And I was able to convince myself to say no. Like, that doesn't make sense. We don't have any extra confirmation saying that it's a good time to reload. Like, yes, right here, slightly buyers got absorbed, but the entire other part of the context is still remaining, right? The imbalances weren't able to hold. We were now trading above the imbalance as well, right? And number two is, again, I was able to hold myself off from tilting. And I think that's a very good sign, because these past couple weeks have been really hard for me, just because I've been really trying to take one trade a day. But as simple as it sounds, it's not that easy, especially when you make a mistake and then you're about to see the actual trade that you should have been in, that you have noticed after you got stopped out, about to play out. It's hard to say I'm gonna stay out of this, but I did. So I'm really proud of myself for that. So even though we took a loss today, definitely improving in our trading, and always just something to take away from the market. Right, whether you win, whether you lose, I find the losing days to be a lot more valuable than the winning days. And yeah, we're just gonna come back stronger. We're gonna come back better, and just gonna come back to tackle the market again tomorrow. So I hope you guys had a good day. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And I hope you guys had a good trading session. If you didn't, then hopefully you can journal and figure out what went wrong. So that's it for the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.